So I'm going to give you the doctor's perspective on using personal protective equipment or PPE for flying. So let's say that you have some equipment that you want to bring with you to the airport, and you're going to get ready. You're going to go on a plane, you're going to fly somewhere, you're going to be around a lot of people who are going to be coughing on you and spraying COVID through the air, and you want to know how to deal with that. Well, you first are going to need some kind of bag that you're going to transport your equipment in, and I recommend a paper bag that you could label. You could put your name on it if you want to. Paper bag is the safest for not getting contaminated with virus, so the virus doesn't stay on the paper. So you can put your masks in there or your eye protectors in there, and then you want to get ready to put on the equipment. You've got your hand wash, let's say the sink, the soap, or your hand sanitizer, and you're going to wash your hands first and make sure that your hands are clean. And then the first thing to put on, if you have it, would be an N95 mask. Let's say that you have an N95 mask and you're going to wear it, but you're not a professional. You don't usually wear these things. You're going to pick it up. You would want to touch it, ideally touch just the straps of it, and you put it on, and you put the bottom strap around your neck, and then the top strap is going to go up here so that it'll stay on your head nicely. And you can do a little adjusting to make sure that it fits right, and you can push here around the nose piece to make sure that you have a good fit there. And you may not be able to do an official, what we call a fit test with your N95 mask, but there are a couple of things that you can do to do a home fit test. So you can blow really hard, and you can put your hands around it and see if you feel air escaping in the top or in the bottom of the mask. And then you'll know that there's a fit problem, and maybe you need a different size of mask, and this is a small size, and maybe you need a larger size. So try blowing around it and see if you need to maybe tighten up the nose piece or make an adjustment to it. And the other thing that you could do is you could spray into the air, maybe something like a perfume spray, and see whether you feel, or if you have something that has a taste to it, like a peppermint oil spray, let's say, then you might be able to use that or have somebody spray that in the air around you, and then you just try breathing and see if you taste it inside the mask. That might be a sign that you have a leak around the edge of the mask. So let's say that you have this on, but you want to protect it, and you want to make sure that it doesn't end up with a lot of COVID and spit all over the front of it. Well, I always wear a double mask. So I've got my surgical mask too, and the surgical mask I would put on over it like this. And I would adjust the surgical mask over it so that it's covering it like this. And you can see how it sits like this, and I make sure that I've adjusted the nose piece so that it's going to sit on there and not slip off my nose all the time. It's the biggest mistake that I see people making with the mask, is not adjusting the nose piece to fit them correctly so that it's constantly falling off their nose. The blue part goes on the outside, just so you know. Pro tip, blue part on the outside. So if you have a surgical mask, then that's what you would do. And if you don't have an N95, and if you don't have a surgical mask, then you're going to want to use a cloth mask. So you have your cloth mask, and hopefully it has also an adjustable nose piece in it, and make sure that that is adjusted correctly, and you put it on. In all these steps, you try not to touch the inside of the mask, because especially once you have it on there, you want to make sure that it's staying on your face and that you're not scratching up inside of it, or you go and touch things inside the airport or inside the plane, and then touch inside the mask, well, then you're negating the purpose of it. You don't want to ever touch the inside of the mask. So try to keep it on. And if you have to, wear a mask that is a surgical mask, or even a cloth mask, depending on what material it's made out of. It can start to bother your ears after a while. And that's why so many people make ear savers, to keep it from starting to hurt your ears after a while. So I have a couple of recommendations for this. First of all, this is the material I use at work at the emergency department. This is called Coban, and you can buy it at the pharmacy, at many pharmacies. It's just you buy it in a roll, and it's just a sticky bandage material that you would use to wrap around a gauze or other dressing. And I just wrap it in a little circle from one loop to the other, because it stretches behind your head, and then it allows you to keep taking the mask on and off without stretching the loop so far that they break. But there are several other ways that you can make an ear saver that don't involve any sewing or any significant amount of crafting work. So you can, I've got a couple of examples here. I did this here on my glasses. So let's say, hopefully you have some kind of eye protection on too. It doesn't have to be glasses, but it could be goggles, could be even swim goggles, ski goggles, glasses, anything to protect your eyes. But let's say that you're wearing glasses. Well, you can use a button. Any button with bigger holes is probably better. And one of these little loops, this is a small hair tie, and it's actually kind of a little bit tricky unless if you have maybe a pin or something that you can use to stick this through here. I just used my fingernails so that I could stick this through one of the buttonholes and then through another, and then once it was the loop was sticking out on both sides, attached it on to the frame of my glasses. So then I would be able to wear the mask without putting it over my ear, and instead putting it over the button. So that could be a simpler way. And then the last part that you're going to use is, maybe if you want it, a face shield. This is a face shield. So let's say you already have your mask on and you're safe and you're not touching it, taking it on and off. You're keeping your hands away from your face. You got your nose piece tightly on there, protecting and keeping air from coming around it. Ideally, one that fits your face really well. And then you're going to just put this on like this, and it can protect everything underneath from anything that's in the air. I would feel the most safe having all of these layers on, and not just counting on my glasses, because there's space along the side of the glasses that doesn't truly protect your eyes very well. So unless you're wearing full-on goggles, it's probably safer to wear a face shield if you had access to one of them. They're not very expensive to buy. So the other thing that you need to know is that you may want to, at some point, take off the PPE during your trip. And in that case, I personally, I'd put this on moment one when I went into the airport. I'd have it on, and I would keep it on for the entire trip, because I wear this gear. I actually wear extra of this gear. I wear this, plus this, or plus goggles. At work, I'll wear it for the entire shift. It does get very uncomfortable, but I will wear it for 8 to 9 hours in each day that I go to work. So this would be nothing to wear it for one trip. And I would consider that to be a small price to pay, but let's just say that you have got a mouth as dry as a desert, and you have got to have something to eat or drink, because otherwise you're going to pass out. well. First of all, make sure that you have your hand washing ability somehow available. So you either have the hand sanitizer or you have a sink with water and soap, and wash your hands. And then you have some space available so that you can start taking off these items. So you're gonna start obviously by taking off the face shield, and then you can take off any mask that you're wearing. So make sure that everything comes off. Ideally, you're just touching it either by the loops. Don't touch the inside of the mask because don't ever touch this part of the mask because you're gonna put that back on your face afterwards. So then you just lay it down so that the blue part, the outside of the mask, is touching whatever surface. Ideally, you had something to lay out that you can put it on so that it's not resting on a dirty surface, but if you have to, at least it's the outside of the mask. And then you do whatever you need to do. You take a drink, you're eating, you're whatever you're doing that you needed to take your mask off for. And as soon as you can, wash your hands again. Then you pick up your PPE and you put it on again. And that's basically how you could stay as safe as possible while traveling.